So a lot of you have probably heard about constructed languages. Lojban is one of these languages. All of the phonology, grammar, and vocabulary was constructed by the Logical Language Group from 1987 to 1997. It was actually created as a continuation and expansion of another logical language, Lojban. The goal of Lojban is to have a language void of all syntactical ambiguity. The baseline of the language was completed in 1997 and released as the complete Lojban language. Aside from the history of it, Lojban has some pretty interesting linguistic properties. To create the original root words of the language called gizmo, the group used an algorithm that looked for similar sound patterns across languages and multiplied those sound patterns by the number of speakers of those languages. The number of languages used in this algorithm was limited to the six most widely spoken languages in 1987: English, Mandarin, Hindi, Spanish, Russian, and Arabic. While Lojban uses the Latin alphabet, it excludes the letters H, Q, and W. Since the release of the complete Lojban language, the community of Lojban speakers have been creating new compound words and borrowing words from other languages, while the root words and structural words have remained essentially the same. Lojban obviously has complex grammar, so I can't explain all of it in one video. However, the grammar of Lojban is interesting and differs from English in many ways. The grammar of English and other natural languages typically has a lot of ambiguity due to grammar. For example, in English, the sentence "I'm glad I'm a man and so is Lola" has three different interpretations. It could mean Lola and I are both glad I'm a man, I'm glad Lola and I are both men, or I'm glad to be a man and Lola is also glad to be a man. The grammar of Lojban, however, gets rid of this problem entirely. Every word of Lojban has exactly one grammatical interpretation, and words relate to each other in exactly one way grammatically. As Bob Xavier, one of the creators of Lojban, put it, "Our rule is that any word have one meaning, not that any meaning have one word." Lojban has a unique prepositional case system too. For example, the sentence "me prami do" means "I love you." Changing the relative locations of me and do would obviously change the meaning of the sentence. Lojban, however, has structural words that allow you to change the placement of me and do within the sentence while retaining the original meaning. Do se prame me means the same thing as me prami do, even though me and do have changed positions. Lojban also has a unique set of words called attitudinals. In natural languages, attitudes are expressed typically by tone when speaking and punctuation in writing, but Lojban can suggest these same attitudes with words. When an English speaker says John is coming, they suggest their feeling through tone or saying something like ugh, John is coming, or arg, John is coming. But words like ugh and arg are different in every language, and they aren't defined in the dictionary. But every word used in Lojban has to be defined in the dictionary, and attitudinals are. In the sentence aho la de Jean Krama, which means hopefully John is coming, aho implies the hopefulness of the speaker. Lojban is full of these attitudinals, and many are a lot more complex than just aho. Lojban has three main word classes. They're brivla, cmavo, and cmavo. The brivla is any word that can state the relationship between objects or concepts, essentially a verb. These brivla can also become nouns by adding lo or similar articles. Like in the sentence mi prami do, prami is the brivla, but if you wanted to make prami a noun, you could add lo to the prami and get lo prami, which means the lover. The cmavo are mainly structural words that carry little meaning. In do se prami me, se is the cmavo because it allows me and do to structurally change places while retaining the exact same meaning as me prami do. The cmavo are essentially Lojbanic words that end in consonants and are just typically used as names and really nothing else. Obviously, Lojban has a lot more moving parts than this video lets on, but I thought these were some of the cooler parts. So now you're probably wondering what the point of Lojban is. Well, Lojban can improve human-to-human communication because it can be easily systematically taught, and it removes ambiguity from language. Furthermore, because Lojban is just so unambiguous, computers can easily translate it to improve human-to-computer communication. All in all, the strict but flexible structure of Lojban is beautiful, and there truly is value in that.